I'm here with PJ Hawx. We're going to be talking about NWA Alwayz Ready pay-per-view this weekend. It was just announced that you have a title match against Homicide this weekend. How you doing today?
I'm well. I can't complain. I just got off work. We're finishing up season 2 of Heels in Atlanta, so we're getting that done and just getting some training done. So, how about yourself? How are you doing?
Not too bad. I just made a fresh cup of coffee, ready to go. A little late for it, but I feel like there's never a bad time for coffee.
Exactly.
So, you did mention Heels, so I guess, before we get into the NWA stuff, I'm a huge fan of the show. Excited to see what's coming for season 2. I know you played a referee on the show, but if I have this correctly, you and your dad did an interview with Slam Wrestling, and you're actually handling some coordinating duties on the show now. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. So my dad is he is the wrestling coordinator, one of the assistant stunt coordinators on the show. And I play a role. I play Denny, the referee on the show, as well as I'm his assistant. So it's been going really well, man. Season 2 is going to be very action packed, a lot of wrestling, a lot of drama. I mean, it's going to be wild, but yeah, the process is basically, I'm his assistant, so I'll go in and help the actors, whether it's, Steven or Kelly Berglund or Alexander, whoever it is. We get in the ring and, we show them, hey, okay, we're going to lock up here. This is how you throw a clothesline. And it's pretty fun, man. I can't lie. It's a blast.
Yeah. I got a chance to talk to your dad before the renewal happened. So it was kind of like, I'm a little biased. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's coming back. But there was still some uncertainty. Glad that everything worked out. This is just me speculating, but last year it premiered August or September. So I'm hoping maybe we get some premiere news soon, but good to hear that you're having fun with it. So, I can't wait to find out more.
Yeah, I'm excited for everybody to watch it again. Like I said, we're getting close to being done, but hopefully by sometime this year, not next year, it'll air. Definitely next year, obviously, but hopefully sometime this year it'll air.
Yeah, and the NWA is represented this season. I saw a behind the scenes photo with Nick Aldis, Aaron Stevens, probably a bunch of other people that haven't been revealed yet. Keeping, always good to keep that stuff under wraps, but what kind of pride do you take kind of having those two worlds join? Because, you're obviously working for the NWA as a wrestler, but, you kind of get to show them another side of what you do outside of the ring, but also, I just feel like it's a pretty cool dynamic that most people don't get to experience.
It 100% is. I mean, I started stunts about, I want to say maybe 6 to 8 months after I started my professional wrestling debut. So I started wrestling in 2017. I started stunts in beginning of 2018. So I've been doing it almost 5 years now, but it's cool because, I mean, again, this show, it's not just a typical, I got to get hit by a car or, I got to take a fall, we do some fight choreography, and we get to mix the two worlds of wrestling and stunts. So it's awesome to, get wrestlers opportunities to be on the show because obviously, we know Hollywood's a big deal and stuff. And at the same time, it's nice that wrestling's getting portrayed in a good light, of course, you know what I mean? If anybody's watched Heels, it's a great show. It's got a good story and it's not just about the wrestling, it shows the insight about, what the characters go through, like what, Jack goes through as a promoter, as a husband, as a father and all that stuff, how Ace goes through as a brother. And, the show aside, it just helps shed the light of, okay, this is what these people go through. And that's the coolest thing about it. Again, is just telling everybody's story. You know what I mean? People can, if you're a wrestler, you can be like, I can relate to that because I know what that goes through, and same thing for maybe people that don't know, but they watch like, man, I never knew that about him. So I think that's probably the coolest thing about being able to merge the two worlds together. And of course, represent the NWA at the same time as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, a couple of other things to take away, yourself being from a family of wrestling promoters, Wildcat Sports. And then there's another dynamic. Now I could talk about it. It's been long enough, but what Crystal goes through at the end of the season, she gets her big moment. So there's that conversation of like how women are represented in wrestling. And I feel like that's, something that's touched on, but maybe, again, I don't know what's going on with season 2, but like maybe that's another storyline to explore. So there's so many possibilities coming out of season 1 going into season 2. And, it's really cool to hear you're having such a positive experience. And, it sounds like a lot to look forward to season 2.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, again, sometimes the hard part is balancing the two worlds out, you know what I mean? But we're getting it done because, I mean, that's exactly what we're getting into this weekend. So I'm very excited to be at Alwayz Ready and go against Homicide.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the match at hand. Homicide's a legend in his own right in the business. He proves that you don't need WWE to succeed. I think he kind of set a blueprint, maybe not directly model your career after, but like, showing like, here's all these places he's been in Impact, he's been NWA, he's been in the Indies. Like, how do you feel going into this match, not only getting the title match, but, stepping into the ring with a guy that has made such a name for himself and is he's revered by his peers?
This is, I mean, it's a very important match for me. The junior heavyweight championship holds so much prestige. I mean, not just in the NWA, but just in general, how long the title has been around. I mean, it just got brought back into the NWA. But I mean, I want to say that don't quote me on this, but I think it was introduced like 1946 or even before that. So it's been around for a long time. So that in itself is awesome. But again, like you said, Homicide is a decorated wrestler. I mean, he's been around, I think 30 years. Somebody told me he was almost 30 years, which is, I mean, amazing. And again, he knows his stuff. So it's going to be a tough match, but it's just, I got to go in there and I got to do what I got to do. I got to scrap and claw to come away with the win.
Mm-hmm. It was 1945. So you were right there, but sticking on that point, you have a title that has so this many years of history. Obviously it was reintroduced after about a 5-year hiatus, but maybe not even thinking as far back as everyone that's held the title, but is there something that you feel like you could accomplish with the title specifically yourself?
I think 100%. I mean, I would still consider myself a tag team wrestler because I tag with my dad, Hawx area. That's what we do. But at the same time, I do want to start continuing my singles career as well, so I want to focus on both, but this is a big opportunity for myself. I mean, this will be my first ever singles career title that I'd ever hold. So, I mean, that in itself is a big deal, but at the same time too, I'm proud to be in the NWA. The NWA is a fantastic place. The wrestling is good. It's a place where I want to be, and to be able to hold that championship, if I win it, I can't ask for anything more, to be a proud representation of the NWA.
Yeah. And I'm just going through some of the names. I know Danny Hodge had the title, Tiger Mask, trying to think of who else, Juice and Thunder Liger, Ultimo Dragon, like a lot of big names, a lot of legends. And
if I can add myself on that list, if I win this Saturday, it's just, I mean, that would be amazing. It'd be something I'd love to accomplish, not only for myself, but the Hawks legacy as well. So it's etching our name in family history.
Yeah. And that's one of the other cool things about seeing you guys in NWA together. Like you mentioned, you compete together. I usually do a watch list feature. I like to get your feedback about your work, whether it was like a favorite match or memorable moment in the ring. So I guess this would be a good time to ask favorite singles match that you've had. And do you have one as Hawx NWA, if you can narrow it down?
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to say my favorite singles match. I've had a couple, you know what I mean? But I mean, if I'm just going to go off, one of the ones that had the most emotions, obviously myself and my father. We had to wrestle each other for it was a tournament to determine the number one contender for the junior heavyweight championship. And we had each other the very first round. This is our first time ever wrestling each other too. And, it kind of sucked because it's like, man, I got to go against my dad. And it's vice versa for him. Like, man, I got to go against my son. But, business is business. And it's what we came to do. We come to wrestle. So we put all that stuff aside and, we did what we had to do. And he came away with the victory. I mean, I'm not surprised. He raised me and, obviously he's been doing it a lot longer than me. But, it was a really fun match and good match because there was no emotions involved. It was just us going out there and doing what needed to be done and just trying to prove who's the better man to continue. And that was very fun to do, very cool to do. But I want to wrestle my dad again. No, obviously the competitor in me would say yes, but as the son, I don't want to fight with him. So, but
yeah,
what do I want to beat my dad's ass? Of course, but, but again, it's such fun wrestling with him. That's now to transition to the tag matches. I want to say, honestly, the very first match we ever had in Circle Square, that's before we started doing Power. I don't know if you remember that. It was, I want to say December 2019, right before the pandemic happened. And we wrestled. It was the Best Kept Secret. And it was just really cool because this is our first time in the NWA. And the crowd was just really feeling us. It was a moment. We won and we won the voting competition. Nothing happened with that because the pandemic happened. So that kind of all fizzled away. But I mean, that all led to us being in the NWA today, which is, it was a really cool moment for us just to kind of progress. I mean, I think at that point, I only been 2.5, maybe 3 years in. So again, it was just a special moment for us. And honestly, anytime I step in the ring with him, doesn't matter what happens in the match, win or lose, it's a privilege to step in the ring with my dad and wrestle together. As a family, he's still in his prime. He still looks great. He still works hard. And it's just, again, I'm learning from him. He's my coach and I can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think back. Like you mentioned the Circle Squared, how much not only the world changed, but specifically like how much the NWA has changed since then. Like, I feel like, and I've been thinking about this lately, like, I feel like when Power started, it was, more of an emphasis on the throwback element. And I feel like, especially the past few months, we're starting to see new talent, regional talent, more than just, it was like men's men and guys who talk. And like, that was what was the original appeal about it. But, we're seeing guys like you and, the end, like Odinson and Aparo, and then La Rebellion, like
right. And that's one of the greatest things about NWA. I mean, they really do have a wide selection of talent, so you're going to see everything there. It's not just a one-trick pony. We have a ton of fantastic performers, so you can even say some of the best, and I think that's the thing, everybody's just there, wants to work hard and just do the best they can. And, you can't ask for anything more than that. We're going to go out there and we're going to, put on a great match.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool to see not only the company did rebound because and I think Billy said it in interviews, but I don't want to like misquote him or anything, but he kind of said like that really stopped us in our tracks, like the pandemic. And, it's kind of cool to see the company rebound, but also all of these names pop up each week, or like if you do read spoilers, like, oh, that person's at the taping, like I'm going to check out that episode, or and there's always like 2, 3, 4 names that I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, like I know their work from somewhere else, and now it seems like NWA is the place where you can kind of see a bunch of these people. So yeah, there's a really cool vibe going on with the brand.
100%. You know what I mean? I feel like, we are getting past the pandemic part of, like the rebooting. I think we're, a little bit past that, which is nice, but you are right about that. I mean, it derailed so many, but it's just, you got to rebuild and come back stronger. And I feel like NWA has done just that.
Mm-hmm. You've had some notoriety in your own career, the balcony jump. I just checked before we started. I didn't realize how high it was, but it's 8.5 million views on Twitter alone.
Yes.
So people have seen you, whether they know it or not. Now you're making a name for yourself. What does it kind of mean to you to have a stage like this going into a huge pay-per-view this weekend? NWA Alwayz Ready, you have the title shot. Put it into perspective. Like, what does it mean to sort of have the spotlight on you in a different way, where it's not a viral moment. It's being recognized for your accomplishments in the ring and having a company be behind you in this way.
It's a huge privilege. And I would say that because the mall jump was great, but unfortunately the pandemic happened. That's one of the things that it derailed us down in New Orleans at Wildcat, and just in general, we had a lot of things lined up for Hawx Area, and that kind of got swept under the rug because literally 2 weeks later, COVID happened. And, but it's great because, like you said, I feel like I proved myself in NWA, and so is Hawx Area. We always put our best foot forward, and no matter what, we try to provide the best, matches that we can. We go out there and we grind, and that's just what my dad raised me to do. It's just, I grind. I always work hard. I always try to do the best I can, no matter what. And I think it's really starting to show. Crockett Cup was, I feel like, a big turning point for me because my dad unfortunately got hurt the first match, but I took on a lot of rebellion by myself, and they gave me a hell of a beating, but I just didn't give up. And that's just part of it. I think people see how resilient I am and how I'm going to keep fighting back. And also just, again, I love technical wrestling. I love to wear people down. I love to take them down. I love to throw them. That's my game. And to be able to showcase that. And again, NWA is a great place to do that. That's what I love about it. I can be who I am. And, people may have not seen that side of me because they think, oh, he just dives off balconies and stuff like that. But no, there's more than me to just that, and it's cool to be able to showcase that. And again, it's just a huge privilege. I am super excited for this weekend to go in and to show what I can do.
Yeah. I don't know what else I can say. Like, we've covered so much, but I will say, check out Wildcat TV on YouTube. It's, if you search Wildcat Sports, one word, check out.
With a K. Wildcat with a K.
Yep. There's stuff on there now, new content waiting to be uploaded. I know you guys just started coming back, secured a new venue. That's, if anybody doesn't know, you guys had some stuff going on with the hurricane last year. So, starting to get back. That's good to hear that you guys are doing that. Talked about Heels season 2. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully this year, definitely next year, but we got those 2 things. And then Alwayz Ready.
Alwayz Ready.
That's Saturday, right. June 11th, junior heavyweight championship match. PJ takes on Homicide. Hopefully you add your name to that list of champions. Anything else you want to plug?
No, man, this is a great time. I really appreciate it again. Yeah, like you hit the nail on the head. We're coming back, New Orleans, Wildcat Sports, Wildcat with a K, our first show back, X-rated. That's be June 25th. We got Alwayz Ready, and we got NWA Power coming up soon. So it's Alwayz Ready July, or not July, excuse me. I'm thinking of another show, June 11th. So this Saturday. And yeah, also season 2 of Heels. You just can't complain, man. We're just rocking and rolling. I'm glad to keep going. So
right.
Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time. Continued success. And, I hope we can do this again in the future.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You too.
All right. Have a good night.